The lights had just dimmed on the final set of Kai's latest drama. The cameras clicked off, and the cast gathered for one last celebratory toast. Fans thought this was the beginning of endless promotional appearances, magazine spreads, and behind-the-scenes interviews. Yet, instead of stepping into the spotlight, Kai did the unthinkable. He vanished. No airport photos, no studio visits, no fan sightings, not even a trace of his signature smile on social media. The man who had millions of fans wrapped around his finger had suddenly disappeared into thin air. But why? Whispers grew louder in the industry, theories spiraled, and speculations ran wild. Some said it was planned all along, a carefully orchestrated move to shake the entertainment world. Others swore something darker was hiding behind the curtain, something Kai didn't want the world to see. What really happened the night Kai walked off set for the last time? And why has his silence become louder than any of his performances? It all began at the wrap-up party, held in a grand hotel ballroom that glittered with chandeliers and echoed with laughter. The cast mingled, glasses clinked, and fans gathered outside just to catch a glimpse of their beloved idol leaving the building. Kai was there, dashing in a tailored black suit, calm, collected, and yet strangely distant. Witnesses said he barely touched his champagne. Instead of mingling, he sat at the edge of the room, eyes flickering to his phone, as though he was waiting for a message that never came. When his co-stars laughed, he forced a smile. When fans shouted his name from outside, he waved briefly, but his energy was elsewhere. Then, without warning, Kai excused himself. No one saw him walk out. Not the staff, not the photographers, not even his manager. His car was still parked outside, untouched. Hours later, when the party ended, people realized he was simply gone. In the days that followed, his silence spread like wildfire. Social media accounts that were once alive with behind-the-scenes photos went dark. A press conference that had been scheduled was canceled last minute. His studio issued no statement, only a vague line. Kai is taking personal time. But the entertainment industry is never quiet for long. Rumors began to circulate. Some insiders whispered that Kai had received a mysterious phone call minutes before leaving the wrap-up party. His expression had reportedly changed, his posture tightening, his entire aura shifting from calm to unsettled. Could that call have been the reason for his vanishing act? Others said Kai had grown tired of the limelight. He had once confessed in interviews that fame was both a blessing and a curse, that sometimes he longed for a life where he could walk down the street without cameras trailing him. Did he finally decide to escape it all? But the most chilling theory came from those close to the production itself. Crew members claimed Kai wasn't himself in the final weeks of filming. He had been spotted late at night, walking alone near the deserted set, staring at the horizon as though waiting for something. A few even swore they saw him speaking to someone who wasn't there, his lips moving in whispers only he could hear. Days turned into weeks. Fans scoured airports, hotels, and restaurants where he was known to frequent. Nothing. Paparazzi, usually able to trace even the most elusive stars, hit a dead end. It was as though Kai had erased his own existence. Then came the shocking discovery. A fan who worked at a luxury hotel in Shanghai leaked that Kai had, in fact, checked into a private suite under an alias just days after disappearing. He stayed for only 24 hours, but surveillance cameras showed something deeply unsettling. In the footage, Kai is seen walking into the hotel late at night, wearing a cap and mask. Yet, when he entered the elevator, the cameras glitched, static filling the screen until it returned to normal. When the feed came back, Kai was gone. No footage of him leaving. No trace of him inside the hotel. Just emptiness. How could a man walk into a building and simply vanish without a trace? Speculations grew darker. Some believed Kai was deliberately staging a mystery, playing with his image in a way no star had ever dared. After all, what could be more powerful than making the entire world search for you? Others leaned into more sinister explanations. Had Kai discovered something dangerous during filming? Something that forced him to disappear before it was too late? Reports from the set added fuel to the fire. One crew member revealed that during the last week of filming, Kai had insisted on rewriting certain scenes himself. He was obsessed with the ending, pacing back and forth, arguing with the director about hidden meanings and symbols. "This isn't just a drama," he reportedly said. "It's a message." A message to whom? And why was he so desperate to send it? Just when fans were losing hope, a new lead surfaced. Kai's stylist, one of the few people who had worked closely with him in the final days, spoke anonymously. She revealed that Kai had been carrying a small, leather-bound notebook everywhere he went. He never let it out of his sight. On the very last day of filming, he had handed her the notebook with trembling hands. "If anything happens to me," he whispered, "make sure this gets to the right person." But when she opened the notebook days later, the pages were blank. Completely empty. Or so it seemed. Under certain light, faint writings appeared. Scribbles, numbers, and cryptic sketches that looked like maps. Could this notebook hold the key to Kai's disappearance? And if so, who was the right person he wanted it delivered to? Theories only grew wilder. Some said Kai had uncovered a hidden truth about the industry, something so dangerous it forced him into hiding. Others swore he was preparing for a secret project so massive and unconventional that he had to disappear from public life entirely. But perhaps the most haunting clue came not from insiders, but from his fans themselves. A dedicated fanbase combed through his old interviews and noticed a chilling pattern. Kai had always dropped subtle hints about wanting to escape the script of life, about how reality sometimes felt like a stage where he was forced to play a role. Could it be that his disappearance wasn't an accident, but rather the ultimate performance? A final act in a play where the lines between reality and fiction no longer existed? And yet, the silence continues. No official statement. No reassuring words. Just questions hanging in the air. Every time Kai's name trends, the same theories resurface. Some believe he's in a remote location, preparing for a rebirth of his career, a shocking comeback that will shake the industry. Others whisper of betrayal, secrets, and dangers that forced him into hiding. And still, a growing number of fans cling to the eerie possibility that Kai is no longer playing a role on screen. He's writing a new story in real life, one that no one was prepared for. The truth about Kai's Vanishing Act remains buried in shadows. But one thing is certain. His silence has become louder than any of his performances, echoing across the industry, haunting fans, and leaving everyone asking the same question. Where is Kai? And why did he choose to disappear just when the world was watching? The ballroom was alive with clinking glasses, the smell of wine, and laughter echoing from every corner. But if you looked closely, really closely, you'd notice that Kai was different that night. His co-stars were celebrating the end of months of grueling filming. Yet Kai sat slightly apart, eyes fixed on the flickering lights of the chandelier above him. He wasn't detached in an arrogant way. No, it was something far more unsettling. It was the stillness of a man who knew he was on borrowed time. He checked his phone again. The glow of the screen lit his sharp features for only a second before he quickly slipped it back into his pocket. A waitress passing by swore she saw his hand tremble slightly as he gripped the glass of champagne he hadn't touched all evening. Then it happened. The phone buzzed. Those near him said his entire expression shifted in that moment. His jaw tightened, his eyes darkened, and whatever cheer he had been faking melted into pure unease. He excused himself politely, whispering something about needing air, and walked toward the side exit. The cameras outside, eager to capture every celebrity leaving, never saw him. His driver, waiting faithfully by the black SUV parked at the entrance, never received the usual call to bring the car around. His manager thought he had gone to the restroom. His co-stars assumed he had slipped out quietly to avoid fan chaos. But when the lights dimmed and the party wrapped up, Kai's chair at the table was still empty. The first sign of alarm came not from his team, but from the fans waiting outside. Dozens of them had been camped by the hotel entrance for hours, eager to see their idol emerge. They had caught glimpses of his co-stars, directors, producers, even minor supporting actors. But Kai? Not once. Maybe he left through the back, one fan reasoned. But when they checked, hotel staff confirmed no VIP cars had left through the back gates. Kai had never crossed the lobby again. Inside, The hotel security footage revealed something bizarre. Shukai was last seen walking toward the side corridor. He adjusted his suit jacket, glanced once over his shoulder, then turned the corner. That was it. No footage of him exiting. No glimpse of him entering another room. Just gone. And here's the detail that still chills those who reviewed the tape. The camera glitched right after Shukai disappeared into the corridor. The screen flickered with static for nearly 12 seconds. And when it cleared, the hallway was empty. His team scrambled the next day. Schedules had to be cancelled. A magazine cover shoot was quietly postponed. His manager released a vague statement about personal rest, but those close to the production whispered about something far stranger. The director, who had been seated only a few chairs away from Shukai during the party, revealed that the actor had been restless for days. He kept talking about how endings matter, the director said. He didn't mean the drama's ending. He meant something bigger, like his own story. It felt like he was carrying a weight none of us could see. Crew members came forward with eerie accounts. One lighting technician swore he saw Shukai alone on set the night before the final shoot, pacing across the empty stage where the climactic scene had been filmed. His lips moved, as if he were rehearsing lines, but the cameras had already stopped rolling. Another claimed Shukai had been found staring at a single script page, one that didn't belong to the production at all. When asked, Shukai had smiled faintly and tucked the page into his coat. By the third day of silence, panic swept across his fandom. Hashtags exploded online. #Where is Shukai trended globally. Fan groups organized search parties near his known hangouts in Beijing and Shanghai. Still, nothing. But then a startling lead surfaced. A bellboy at the hotel where the wrap-up party had been held came forward anonymously. He swore that after midnight, long after Shukai had vanished, he saw a tall figure slip through the service elevator. The man wore a mask and cap, but his gait, the effortless, elegant walk, was unmistakable. The bellboy insisted it was Shukai. Yet when security checked, the elevator logs had no record of movement at that time. And the service exit, supposedly monitored by CCTV, showed no one leaving. It was as though Shukai had walked into the elevator and simply dissolved into the night. And then came the most haunting revelation of all. Days later, housekeeping staff discovered something in the very corridor where Shukai was last seen. Tucked behind a potted plant was a folded napkin, smudged with ink. On it were a few hastily scribbled words. "Don't look for me. I'll return when the ending is written." The handwriting matched Shukai's. The note only deepened the mystery. Fans dissected every word, every curve of his penmanship. What did he mean by the ending? Was it a metaphor for a new drama project? Or was Shukai speaking about his own life, as though he had stepped out of the script entirely? His disappearance became less like a simple case of privacy and more like a performance itself. Had Shukai staged this vanishing act as a grand statement to the industry, a way of saying he refused to be just another puppet on stage? Or had something, or someone, forced him to retreat into shadows? Even now, the night Shukai vanished is replayed endlessly in the minds of those who were there. The half-smile he gave before stepping away, the chilling buzz of his phone, the way the cameras flickered as though reality itself didn't want to be captured. Shukai's disappearance wasn't just an absence. It was a presence of mystery, one so thick it lingers in every conversation about him today. And until he returns, if he ever does, the question will haunt his fans and the entire entertainment world. Did Shukai walk away because he wanted freedom? Or because he uncovered something so dangerous that disappearing was his only choice? What do you think, dear viewers? Was Kai's Vanishing Act a carefully crafted performance? Or is there a darker truth waiting to be revealed? Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more dramatic stories and hidden truths from the world of your favorite stars. Your support helps us bring you even more exclusive content.